right now.
Sí. ¿Dónde estás?
Sí, estoy en Panamá.
Oh, Panamá. Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Panama?
No. Mi esposa es de Argentina, but we haven't been, but we're going there soon. But
Well, hopefully.
never been to Panama.
Debes venir.
Sí.
How's your Spanish?
Venir. Mi español es más o menos. I'm not really fluent. I can stumble my way through a conversation, and I know I'm not using the correct tenses, but mi esposa y su madre hablan en español en mi casa todos los días, so I hear it a lot.
Yeah.
I have a son, and he's fluent in it, and he knows.
And I guess you know all the bad words when they scream at you.
Sí, sí, sí. Todos las palabras malas, sí. But like, hola, ¿qué tal? Ciao.
Ciao. Mike, it's a pleasure talking to you. SNL is part of history, of TV history. 50 years being the late show that everybody watches in the States and around the world. You were a part of this show for a few years. You began as a writer, and now you're part of the show. How was the process? How did you begin working on SNL? And how it became part of your life and part of your what you love the most?
Wow. I mean, I started, a while ago as a writer. I had known some people who were on the cast, so they were able to speak well on my behalf. But once you're here, the work, definitely need to put in the work, and hopefully your material will rise to the occasion, because it's obviously an iconic show. So I think especially when you start, I think a lot of it is just overcoming, like, this is SNL, and just because I think it's easy to get in your head. You're like, this is Saturday Night Live. I can't mess up. But I think once you just kind of get out of your own way and get out of your head, I think you just kind of write what's funny. But I mean, every day is awesome. There's no job like it. It's truly unique, and it's the best. The best. Even, if your sketch bombs and you're not feeling the best, it's still a great job. It's still
Yeah.
be a part
How do you manage to be a comedian, a writer, an actor? Is all the same, or is very different to be a comedian or to be an actor or to be a writer? How do you put it together?
Yeah, I mean, here especially, like, everyone writes for themselves. So I think this show lends itself to the writer performer aspect, because you're generating your own material based on what you think you can do the best or most effectively, or what's inspired you. So I think it's a good marriage of the two, but they both have their own challenges, and they're both rewarding in their own right. But getting to merge them is like ideal. It's the best. But it's funny because sometimes you'll write something that you're also in, and you're performing it, and at dress it's bombing, and you're like, why did I write this? This is all my So you're more responsible, but then if something goes really well, then you're also responsible for it. So it's a good gamble. It's a good gamble.
I'm just wondering, how's the creative process that goes behind the scenes on SNL? You just get together once a week or every day and talk about what we're going to do. This is the skit I have, the sketch I want to do, the character I play.
Right.
How's it work behind the scenes?
I mean, everyone on Tuesday, everyone's writing whatever they want to write. You can check in with producers and be like, this is what I'm thinking, and maybe get some input. But it's really, honestly, all the writers and cast are left to their own devices to write what they want to write, which is really cool. I know, like, the head writers and the writing staff will meet in terms of cold opens sometimes and talk about ideas, or this is a general idea we're thinking of. But it's cool because you're in control of what you want to write, so you can just pretty much do what you want, which is great. There's a lot of freedom.
Recently, we saw well, that's good. Recently, we saw the comeback of Beavis and Butthead. Whose idea was that, and why? You were all over the place with Beavis and
Yeah,
Butthead.
they were
Can we expect
ready.
a movie, a live-action movie of Beavis and Butthead?
I mean, be careful what you wish for. If we do a movie, you got to review it very well.
Of course, I will.
It's amazing.
Shing!
I know. It was it was my idea, and my co-writer of the sketch, Streeter Seidel, we've been wanting to do that idea for years. And Ryan Gosling just seemed like the perfect host to do it with. So it definitely was a risk, because I think when you hear the idea, you're like, what? I think you really need to see it for it to work. So it was cool that Ryan was on board with it and took a chance, because it it doesn't seem, when you just hear about it, like if someone's explaining it, you're like, what? It doesn't, it just sounds kind of
Yeah.
weird. But it definitely, you need to see it. But it was just one of those things where luckily the audience was on board, and you could tell Ryan was having fun, and people were laughing during it because it was just so stupid. But it was one of those ones that felt very special in the moment. Like, oh, this is one of those fun sketches, kind of experiences that could only happen on this show. You know what I mean? So it was a
Well,
blast.
SNL is it was a blast, and it was a blast to see it and to reprise it for the premiere. It was great to see you there also.
Oh,
But SNL is 50 seasons. It's something unbelievable, and it's part of
wow.
history. A few weeks ago, I saw the movie Saturday Night,
Oh,
and
yeah, did you
I
like it? I
was
haven't seen it
blown.
yet.
I loved it. I loved it. It was incredible because as we work on TV, you get to know what happens behind the scenes, and it's part of
Right.
our world. And living that through that picture, it was incredible. And this was 50 years ago, almost 50 years
Yeah.
aure, and you're still number one. You're having a show every weekend, every
Yeah.
Saturday, and bring the world together, because it's not just for the US. We see in Latin America, we get to see
Oh,
Saturday
that's
Night Live.
great.
So it goes
Does
for
it air
the
there
humanity.
on Saturdays? Does it air on Saturdays
Yeah,
there?
it
Some, I
does.
know some places
It
it's like,
does airs live.
oh, great. That's
It,
awesome.
it does airs live. And also, is very important here in Panama, because we used to have the Americans here before the take we took away the canal, the Panama Canal, and
Oh,
they
right.
have the Southern Command Network. And every Saturday when I was a kid, I watched Saturday Night Live on on
Oh, that's
SCN,
awesome.
the Southern Command Network. So I thank you. I thank the military for that. The US military for that, for bringing me Saturday Night Live to the whole community.
They're like, no problem. Doing our part.
Yeah, yeah, we're doing our part. So what can we expect in this new season? There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the 50th season. There's gonna be a lot of special guests, a lot of people who had been on the show throughout the years coming back. Um, it's also an election year, which is crazy. It's like everything has converged of this nexus that is this season. So I think it'll be very special. A lot of the stuff, like, I'm sure I don't even know yet, that like special guests. So I'm excited to see what happens. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. I think each episode is going to feel very special.
Is there any special character from the history of SNL that you want to bring back?
Wow. I mean, there's so many. It would be fun to see Will Ferrell come back, do a few of his crazy characters.
Yeah.
Any of his would be fun. It's always fun when he hosts, but I mean, there's so many. There's so many. So I hope we get to see a lot. I hope we get to see
Yeah,
them.
I hope we do.
Yeah.
Well, Mikey, thank you very much. Congrats, and have fun. That's the word, to have fun and to make us
Thank
laugh
you.
every day, every Saturday
Thank
night.
you. Hola, Panama. Gracias, Panama.
Gracias.